you on?
I'm nervous.
We're switched on.
Always switched on.
We're switched on.
Should I put that one there? Hey man,
So,
it's been far too long.
been a while again.
It's been a while again.
Yeah, we always say it.
We've just spent like an hour and a half just chatting. I don't know if we have like an intro to today.
Just intro it.
Welcome back to another episode of the Murph and Mitise show.
You ready? Let's go.
And if you're watching live, welcome.
Yeah, we've got Instagram going today.
Hey, what's up?
So,
It's a new thing.
obviously you can't watch it because it's too late.
Yeah.
But see what happens.
See what happens. How you been?
Dude, it's been the end of the season.
Yep.
Last time we spoke, we were in season. I can't remember what stage of it we were, but we were in season.
Halfway through?
That long ago, okay. So, season's finished. Didn't make playoffs, unfortunately. That's always a hard thing to take for any sporting club, but didn't make it in. So now it's, where am I at? I'm back at uni, so studying in exercise science, sports science again. Last year.
Final year. Final year.
I can bang a table, can't I?
What?
I can bang a table.
I think you can because they're not on. You know what? Pull it a little bit.
Yeah, so final year, which is fantastic. Get this done, and I've got my degree. Look further after that to masters or whatnot.
Plans?
But
Can you tell us?
for after the degree.
After the degree. After the degree.
Well, I pretty much got to see what happens this year, what unfolds this year in regards to sporting clubs or opportunities. See what happens at whatever point. But I definitely plan to go do a masters next year.
Yep.
Just where it's at and exactly what it's going to be. Undecided right now.
Do you have to specialise? Like, do you have to have like a topic, like a master's topic, is it like an honours?
Pretty
topic?
much, yeah. I mean, I think it might be a bit more general than an honours. Don't quote me on that. I haven't looked into it enough yet. But it would be most likely a masters in strength conditioning or high performance management.
Yep.
Of some sort.
Because I've heard the two streams, those two streams. Which one, obviously being a HPM, right, and having experience in that, which way do you think you would look to go? Masters at S&C or more down a HPM route?
HPM.
Why?
I don't know how much more I'm going to learn in the way of strength conditioning from a university background.
All right, okay. I did not expect that. I was like, okay, keep going. Yeah, talk to me.
So, I mean, as you know, as most of our listeners will know, what viewers would know, is we have a very...
Yeah, I'm letting you go with that.
We have a very specific way we like to train. Not at all. Is it specific? It's not a very specific way.
No.
We have ways we like to train. We have a philosophy,
Yeah.
the way we train our clients. And it isn't textbook. And university is textbook.
But is it all textbook?
Say again?
Is university all textbook?
Well, yeah.
Okay, so keep going.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of it's based on textbooks, and as much as it is useful, I think for the level we're at the moment, what we do and our philosophy, it doesn't suit.
Did not expect this on a Sunday. Okay.
It doesn't suit at the moment. Not saying that I wouldn't learn stuff that I don't know already. Not saying that. I think just the way I look at training, I can get more from other people.
Go on.
Yeah.
I want to dig into this.
You want to dig into this?
Keep going. Yeah. What do you think you can get more from other people? What do you feel the HPM...
More that resonates with me from other people.
Yeah. So, in that regard, what
Yeah.
would that be?
I don't know yet. That's just the thing. I don't feel that uni resonates with me as well as other people do.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm being judged.
No, this is good. That's a judgment from me. I'm not...
I feel like I'm being judged by someone out there already.
like our... This is good. Keep going.
See, I mean, that's just... I just don't... From what I have experienced already, I mean, obviously this is coming from someone who's been in pro sport now for 4 years, who's been in the industry now for 15 years almost. I've learned a lot about strength conditioning already. So and a lot of stuff I'm learning at uni at the moment has been... It's almost like a prequel to what I know already.
Okay.
So I'm learning why I'm doing it,
Yep.
the physiological standpoint. I'm learning like the theoreticals behind it all.
Yep.
So I've learned nothing about how to program,
Okay.
or why to program, or when to program things, or what exercises to use. uni hasn't taught me that at this point. But I've learned that when I do program this is the physiological effects that are happening.
Yeah.
Like the deep stuff.
Yeah.
Like the cellular level stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't know that before.
Yeah.
So uni's taught me that. Cool.
Is it going to change how you train at all?
No.
Okay, keep going.
Having said that, there's one topic I'm doing this semester which I'm actually looking forward to getting into the nitty gritty of it, and that's physiological testing or
Yep.
like the big time VO2 max testing and all that sort of stuff. I'm looking forward to doing that. ECGs, that's the stuff you're not going to learn from anywhere else but university.
Yeah.
Cool, I'm looking forward to getting into that stuff. Will I use it afterwards? Probably not.
Okay.
I mean, from every team I've spoken to so far, especially in the sport that I do, they don't do VO2.
Yep.
Too expensive, too time consuming, not relevant enough for the sport. I mean, VO2 and explosive dynamic sports you just don't use that test. There's better tests you can use. Can you do a test and can you get a benefit from it? Yes. But is there more beneficial things to do? Yes. So will I use ECG and VO2 after this semester? Probably not again.
Yeah.
There's a chance. I'm not going to say never again, but probably not again.
Yeah.
But having said that, I'm still interested to learn it. After the uni degree into the masters, why I want to go through HPM and not S&C. This is also coming from guys who have done the S&C program as a masters.
I want to hear from you, Murph.
Well, I've never done it, so I can't give you my complete opinion. Based on what other people are telling me, because you've already done 15 years, you've done 4 years in pro sport, you've been around people that are higher than myself already, they are saying you're not going to learn that much more.
Yeah.
It's just going to be more of what you already know and more detail of what you already know.
Yep.
So I'm still going to learn stuff and be like, okay, this is the other reasons why I've done it. Am I going to change anything? No, not really. The stuff that I always change is when I go to someone who's in proven sport already, getting results, getting all these great things from their athletes. I'm going to go to that person now.
Yep, of course.
Is it more up to date? Most likely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you find that what you've done at uni so far, and then where the masters or the honours would take you? Is it masters? It's masters.
Masters. Yes.
Where the masters would take you would be more analysis, data driven.
Depends on what I do.
No, that's a bad thing. It's just different.
Yeah, just different stuff. I mean, if I go to more sports science based, analysis, data driven. If I go to more strength conditioning, I mean, I don't really know enough about it. I haven't looked into it enough yet. I think it'd be more based on the programming, a bit more physiological side of things. But I do want to get into high performance management more so, because since I've been at HPM with the Sixers, I've loved it.
Yep.
I love dealing with people with personalities, trying to figure things out, trying to bring the team, not so much the team as in the players. Yes, I can do that as well. But the team is in my team, the high performance team, bring them together and make them work as
physio, medical,
sports science, massage, all those kind of guys. I've loved doing that.
Yeah.
I think that's just by experiencing it. Now I want to go down that path more so.
Yeah.
Do I want to let go of S&C? Never.
Yeah.
Love it. I still like getting in the gym, but yeah, I think high performance management is the direction I want to point myself in.
Yeah, because I think, remember you had a comment on, was it a comment on one of your post group about uni, about learning the programming, or what you said before, you haven't really learned much more about programming, and that comment was from someone who'd done a master's in S&C and said they'd learned more of their programming in the master's.
Yeah.
Like, you were like, oh, I'm not going to learn much on the master side of things, and they're like, well, actually you do. I learned most of my stuff there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I don't know where I was going with that. I have no idea. Just got lost it then. So what I was saying is basically like the potential to learn more is coming from a master's rather than just a regular degree.
I mean, that goes with any degree though, right? The degree is always the background information. It's the lead up to something else. I don't think anyone really says do a degree and you're done. That's it. You sort of go, okay, this is a pathway now. Yeah. Sort of the degree is this. Now go to this. Then go to the PhD, which is the very top. Yeah. That's this one thing.
Yeah.
Will I do a PhD? I got no idea. It wouldn't be immediately. I wouldn't go from master's to PhD. No. It'd be master's, work, PhD when I'm ready to retire and I've got nothing else to do. Fuck it, might as well do a 40,000. Yeah, retirement doing a 40,000 word thesis. I do have a gold rider paper,
Yep.
a published paper.
Yep.
I do want to do that at some point. That's down the track. I want to work. I want to get into it all first.
So how are you finding your, I don't think you mentioned it, but your placement at the moment?
Yeah, so placement with the Crows.
Yeah.
That's been very cool. So
Yeah.
as part of the uni degree, I've got to do a placement for 120 hours with really anywhere I want, anywhere that interests me. I was able to contact Matthew Haas from the Crows, who's their HPM. We sort of built a relationship over the last couple of years, seasons of the Sixers, just catching up, having a bit of a chat, have a coffee, and talk about what we both do in our respective sports. Respective sports. Respective sports.
Also respect.
They also
I
respect.
guess.
I'm not doing English in.
No, you're not. It's quite clear.
Anyway, talking to Matt about different things like that, and then so when the time came to do placement, I thought I do eventually want to move into AFL to have a better pathway into the States, into the NBA.
Murph wants to go field sports.
I want to dabble in field sports to end up back on court sports. Let's get that clear.
Okay, fair.
So I thought I want to go with the Crows. They're obviously very well known for their sports science. They're very well known for investing into their players. I wanted to be a part of that, so I went into it. It's been fantastic. It's been very good. It's a massive eye opener from NBL, which is obviously the top of Australia in basketball, going to AFL. The money there is huge. The facilities are incredible. Just what the players can get their hands on is amazing. And it purely comes down to budget. There's just not enough people watching NBL compared to AFL.
Of course.
AFL is the premier sport in Australia. Are they ever going to get knocked off number one? Most likely not. They're probably going to be number one forever and a day. They have been for a long, long time. So that's why they've got all the money that they do. So they can use that and they can spread out.
Have you found that the money injection and with what is done with players is far greater? Now, obviously, the way I think about it is that you can have a bare bones gym, you don't have all the high quality equipment stuff.
Yeah.
In regards to performance, not only in regards to injury management, do you find the money affects that a lot more?
In performance?
Performance, not injury management.
At the end of the day, they still use the same stuff that we use.
Yep.
They've still got barbells and squat racks
Yep.
and benches and dumbbells and kettlebells. Same thing with we use.
Yeah.
The programming we do isn't much different. It's very similar. They just do the ratios of the movements are different. Obviously, they have a lot more straight line running than a basketballer would. So they do more hamstring work, more sagittal plane work, whereas we do more frontal and transverse. Big thing there. You're looking at me that way. Stop it. But the actual programming of things is very, very similar. The exercises are very, very similar. The way they structure it is quite different, and that's a lot of things. That's probably the biggest thing I've learnt is how to structure a pre-season, how to structure a program to get better buy-in from the athlete, to make it feel like it's more individualized, even though it isn't overly individualized.
Can you expand on that for me? What do you mean by that?
So the way they've done it is every program has 3 blocks. The first block is more...
Can you talk about this first? Is this okay to talk about?
Yeah, I'm not going to tell the exercises.
Okay, cool. That's fine. Just making sure.
3 blocks, and basically each block has... one block is... So I was going to say first, but I'll explain why I'm not going to say first. One block is all about priming muscles that are going to prevent injuries. So they do some hamstring eccentric work. They'll do some calf-loaded work for ankles and all that stability work, and some core work. And they do a lot of Kaiser 3D hip activities. Then the next block will be more on... What would it be then? They normally have like their main, so they've got obviously 2 days, 2 big days of upper body day, lower body days. The next block will be more based on that, so it'll be a big press, a big pull, something like that. And then there's another block, I can't remember off the top of my head what that is, but it's another block. So there's 3 main blocks. And the way they've done it is you don't have to do them in order. You pick a block, whatever block works for you, whatever you want to do first, whatever you're feeling that day.
Okay.
But you've got to do all 3 blocks.
Within the same day?
Within the same day, within the same session. And then there's accessory exercises. So if you're feeling like I want to pump up the guns, you go do your gun work. If you feel like you want more press and pull, you go do your press and pull work. So that's where everyone gets the same thing, but you can choose. It's almost like choose your own journey, pick your own journey. What are those books called?
Choose your own adventure.
Choose your own adventure. It's almost like one of those where, okay, everyone's got this thing, but I'm going to do this in this order, and then I'm going to do this at the end, where someone else going to do this at the end. So it can be very individualized, even though it's not really. The only time where they go, all right, this is your program only, is if it's rehab.
Yep. Okay.
Which is what I was doing as well.
Yep.
All right, you got a bit of a lower back thing at the moment, or you've just had a corky or concussion, whatever it might be. You do this for now.
Yep.
I know with Drimic didn't like a lot of hip.
So from the Sixers.
From the Sixers now. Sorry, from the Sixers. Drim didn't like a lot of hip flexion work, bend work. So we eliminated the majority of that from his workouts, or gave exercises that did the same thing without that loaded hip flexion.
Yep.
Same with Kev White, same with a couple of other guys. So that's where I would make it a bit more individual for my guys, even though everyone got the same program.
Within the program in the blocks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So everyone got this, okay, you guys do this instead, take this out, add this in, whatever else. But I like the way the Crows did it more because it gave the players a bit more freedom on what they wanted to do.
Yep.
There were some things you have to do, then there's some things you can choose to do.
Yep.
So
how long would a session be then? Roughly, or how long are they allowed in the gym? Not allowed in the gym, but like, okay, you're 9 minutes, 2 hours, 1 hour.
So the stuff they had to do went for about 40 to 45 minutes. And the stuff they could do at the end, which is again all optional, it might last up to about an hour.
Okay. Yep.
And that gets obviously reduced depending on time constraints or depending on load of the training session that day. So on a big training day, which is normally their game day -2, go, they'll have a lower gym session, lower volume gym session. Same intensity, like all the rules that we know.
Yeah.
Same intensity, same amount of reps, same tempos, everything else, just less volume, less sets.
Yep.
And then pretty much every S&C will be doing that.
Yep.
Every good S&C will be doing that.
Thank you. Got to clarify.
Got to clarify.
Well, the shitheads out there.
So that's one thing I've really learned from the Crows, which has been fantastic. Also, the way they structure their training days is something I've never done. This might be general knowledge, I don't know, but I've never done it and I really like it. Where they'll come into training day and they do prep to train, and they have stations where they'll be, okay, this is your stretching, rolling, torque almost station. And the boys can rock up, they can do a bit of rolling out, they can just use their massage balls in this sort of station here. They've got a station with the physios for treatment, they can get some massage, get some treatment done, get some taping, all that sort of stuff here. They've got a actual prep to train where they're doing activation exercises for hamstrings, groins, a bit of mobilization work in this station. And this station here is brand new to me. I really liked it where again, this comes down to a bit of budget, but they've got a big ass screen, huge screen. And these players might be maybe 10 to 11 players in each station. These players here will go sit with a coach or one of the coaches, and they'll take them through all of the training and expectations of the training that day.
Okay. Yeah.
So these are the drills we're going to have. This is what I want to see from these drills. This is what happened in this game. See this position here. See how this guy's out of play. See what was good here. This is what I want to see in this drill to make this not happen or keep this happening.
Yep.
So the players almost go into, or they go into training with an expectation on exactly what the coach wants. So there's the reason they did it is to stop stoppages during training.
Yep.
Which shortens the time.
Yep.
Makes the day go quicker.
Yep.
Players feel better about that.
And they're prepared not just physically but mentally as well.
Exactly.
Which is huge.
Huge. That's one thing I've never seen us do at the Sixers. I haven't seen any other team do it.
On training days?
Training days.
Yep.
No, that's not saying no one does it. I just
No,
haven't seen it.
Expectation of training session rather than training week. Yep.
Yep. I think that, again, it puts a bit more ownership on the players. Okay, you know what to do now. Go and do it. It
removes the blockages as well.
Exactly.
Yep.
And any arguments like, why are we doing this crap?
Yep.
You know now. This is exactly why we're doing it. It's on you now to make this happen. So that's something really cool. I'd like to implement that to future teams I'm moving into, if not already done, is talking through with the players, educating them a little bit more. Is
that section there with the screen run by, sounds like it's run by the tactical coaches rather than the performance team?
No, definitely not performance team. That's the football coaches. Normally Matthew Hicks, the head coach, is there, and a couple of the assistant guys are there. I'm still using a lot of basketball terms, so
coaching stuff, tactical.
The coaching stuff. Yeah. I get caught out of that so often. I'm like that's a foul, right? Or
no,
something. Just I use too much basketball term in football. They just look at me like,
yeah.
No. I'm still learning.
Okay.
I'm a court sport man.
You are very much a court sport man moving to field sports. It's exciting for me.
It is. It's exciting for me. Something different.
Yeah.
You know, I like to be challenged, and this is definitely a challenge for me.
Yeah.
Especially with the amount of people that are there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, staff-wise, but players. There's 44 players.
Mm-hmm.
I'm used to dealing with 15 to 16.
Yep.
Now it's 44.
Do you feel you're overwhelmed?
Initially, I was. Now I'm getting. I've been there for 5 weeks. I'm getting comfortable with everything, and I'm used to what's happening and how everything's structured. But initially, I'm just like, there's people everywhere. I literally just stood there for the first session. I feel like a complete rookie.
I wish I was there.
No, you don't. You would be embarrassed for me. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I went here, I'd be in the way, and I pretty much felt like any rookie would feel going into sport for the first time. Yeah. I just didn't know what to do. Yeah. So I would have looked like an idiot on the first couple of sessions.
Are you privy to their field training sessions? As in not necessarily the tactical side of things, which is not your forte and will never be your forte, but the field training sessions in regards to their running sets, their programming, any of that kind of stuff that you would be completely different. So you said the exercises are similar to what you would have seen. Right? Programming a little bit different, but the exercises are similar. But in regards to the actual field training, when you've got guys covering 15 to 18 kilometres in a game, you've got guys covering, 6 to 8?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's
some guys might be hitting 10, but...
Maybe 10 at a high level, right? So looking at almost double. Are you previous to those programs? And if so, how have you found them to challenge you, if challenging?
I wouldn't say challenging is something. I mean, I guess it is. I've got to learn something else. So that's always a challenge.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
But yeah, they are different. Obviously, there's a lot more aerobic conditioning in football. Size of the field is hugely different. One thing I've got to learn more about is MAS training. I don't know a lot about that. I'm more that short, sharp, shiny interval training, which is my sport. I've only ever needed to learn that. So I'm actually going to catch up with their head conditioning coach, and that's what they've been. So Crow's been fantastic in helping. As soon as I need some information or I'm asking for something, they're happy to go, you know what, let's book a time, sit down for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and we'll just talk all that. And it's like just nerding out completely on strength conditioning work. There's not one other conversation happening but strength conditioning for like 2 hours straight. It's incredible. I love it. So they've been fantastic, just helping me with that sort of stuff. The nutritionist helping me with the nutrition stuff. It's been really, really good. I definitely need to learn more about how to help or how to condition someone on a bigger surface. But at the same time, they're asking me how I condition my guys for court. Of course. Obviously, there's a lot more agility involved. There's a lot more lateral movement involved in football. Even though they still have it, the ratios are hugely different. So they're asking me, okay, so what do you do? How do you train your guys? How do you condition your guys to be able to do what they do and not get injuries and whatever else? So I guess it's just, this is my specialty, that's their specialty. They don't know much about mine. I don't know much about theirs. And we are helping.
It's going to be super cool for you, that growth you're going to get this year, right? Because you're going to go through a phase of, once you get into season, you're going to have fairly consistent weeks, whereas like, I know your guys were having at the Sixers, 3 games in 10 days and things like that?
Our biggest was 4 games in 8 days. 4 games in 9 days.
4 games in 9 days, right? Whereas now you've got, every week, it's Friday to Monday, or sometimes it's Thursday to Monday, whatever that comes. But you can you can build for the week. We can peak here, we can add more load here, we can take stuff here. But you kind of know where the flow's going to be. Yeah. And I imagine getting into that, from that, which is what my thing is, to basketball, we're very different. So you come the other way. It's gonna be. I feel like you might go through this phase as well. It's actually a bit easier to program. Definitely. Difficult in programming, but easier to program to account for those weekly cycles.
Because that, as I said, they do a plus minus strategy for their weeks.
See, I've started doing that as well. Putting it out. That's how I think about it, but I've actually started putting it out more.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it. Where it's okay. So no matter what the day is, no matter when you play, completely regardless.
Can you just explain that? For those who don't know what a plus minus system is.
I was about to.
Oh, well, there you go. Sorry, getting your head.
So-
Too many coffees. It's like coffee before.
So no matter what day you're playing, no matter what day it is, it's regardless of any of that, it's always game day plus 2 is this, game day plus 3 is this, game day plus 4 is this. Then they start. Normally game day plus 4 is a day off. But then they start going to minuses. So now it's not this game day, but this game day. Game day minus 2 is this. Game day minus 1 is this.
So when you say that, when I meant clarification, is that if you're playing on a Sunday, game day plus 1 is Monday.
Yes.
Game day plus 2 is Tuesday.
Yes.
Game day minus 1 is a Saturday.
Yes.
That's how you work it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then you get into programming for that, which is where you're at now, is that programming for game day plus 3 is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's our day off.
Yep.
That's basically what we're saying. And now we get into programming for those days.
Yep, exactly. Whereas,
Clarification.
Sorry. With 4 games in 8 days, there's no plus.
Game day minus 1 is game day plus 1.
So I'm sitting there as a strength coach, like I can't put weights in there. You can't put because football's a little bit different. Rotations are a little bit more regular, but you can't really put a big leg day, game day plus 2, when it's either a game day or it's the day before a game. So that's just where all that was thrown out the water, and you have to really modify according to either players, minutes, or it's all up in the air with that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And you do know in the
With
beginning
basketball,
of the season, with basketball, I do know in the beginning of the season that all this is coming up, but still, you get to the point you're like, I want to try and put in a weight session. They're normally going to be non-compulsories. Yeah. And that's pretty much what the game day minus 1 is for AFL at this stage that I've seen.
Yeah.
Where game day minus 1 is anyone who's not playing is compulsory.
Yep.
So I guess what I would call development squad, I can't remember what they call them. But for the main contract players, the main 22, it's a non-compulsory lift.
Yep. Yeah.
If you want to come in, you can do a bit of this. You can do whatever you want. You can do some biceps and triceps if you want. It's completely up to you. We've got a program here for you to follow if you want to follow that. So it can be more of a PAP sort of session.
I was going to ask about that,
but it's a non-compulsory. You don't have to be there for it.
Okay.
And basically for that means that a lot of the older guys are like, you know what, I just want to have a break. It's been a big week. Stuff's going on. Some of the guys still do like to train. It's completely up to them.
Yeah. I find it interesting. I've got one of the keepers that I work with for Blue Eagles. He's on a program that I've done with that, which is a game day minus. We've modified it from a 4-day down to like a 3-day training because he loves to train. And I said to him, what about training on game days? And he's like, I like movement. Here's what I was doing beforehand, which was more like a strength-based one, a little bit of power, that kind of stuff. He'd done all the stuff at college, but we actually have modified that to be, all right, cool, it's almost like a game day minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, and he does the leg session with the power, minus 3, and then we've got like a upper body integrated core stuff, and then on game days we're doing a PAP session, 20 minutes, that's explosive, quick, get in, get out. And we've had a couple of games with that. I said, how you feeling? And he goes, I fucking love it, right? Because it just gets a little pep up before we go into it. But the game day minuses and the game day pluses it's been what I've been doing for years. You know what I mean? With soccer and footy, because they're more consistent, you can do it. And I've always wondered because I've never actually got into the nitty gritty with you with details on what you do, how you specifically program. Never. We've always thought generally.
I pretty much did that. I never worded it in that way at all. But in my mind, it was always game day off, lift. Yeah. And then from there was depending on when the next game was. Because we did have a Wednesday night game, we had a couple of Thursday night games, double headers on the weekend, so all that sort of stuff happened. But it was always going to be game day off, lift, and then lift again if we could, depending on whatever else happened after that. So there was always a +2 is a lift day. So I've never worded it that way, but in my head that's always what I was going to do. Yeah,
it's interesting. What I'm finding at the moment with teams is recovery. When we do recovery, why we're doing recovery, what we're doing for recovery, how we're managing it, and
what's the most important recovery?
Most important, rest, man, sleep.
Yeah.
Don't be going out drinking shit. No, not after games anyway.
Yeah.
Don't be doing that stuff. But then the rest, sleep is the biggest one. I try and take both my teams through. Not trying to take this up, but I will recommend we do like water immersion With the girls, with the Eagles, we take them straight after the game if we can to do beach session. So especially if we're playing at South Adelaide, which is 10 minutes from Christie's Beach, we go down after the game into the beach, into the water, get in.
Yep.
You know, bring towels, bring warm, whatever. So we do that. We're stretching afterwards. We do light running, get in the water again a couple of times. Boys, it's more about ice baths after the game. So in the change rooms after the game, you have an ice bath. Boys get in. They're all in there. Usually allowed 4 to 5 minutes. If we've got a bit of time, it's usually 6 to spare. And I would judge that based on minutes you played. If you played 30 minutes, you're not going to get 6 minutes in an ice bath. If you played 90 minutes, you're going to get 6, 7, 8, whatever it needs to. We rotate through that. Ideally, I'd have ice baths everywhere. You know, science is out on them, but for me, straight after a game, minimise any information you've got, any swelling from what you've done. Bring your body temperature back down, move through that. So that's what we do with them. So kind of different modalities. Like I said, beach compared to direct straight after ice bathing and ice and stuff. Movement the next day. We were going to do a recovery session last week with the boys. We play Monday nights at home. And so we were going to do a recovery session on the Tuesday. I was like, get the gym and just mobility, stretching, some light stuff. But then one of the boys put in the group out having a day off the next day, because we should have like a day off on the Tuesday morning because I'm knackered. And I was like, you know what? Actually, you know, it's Monday. You guys got to go to work on Tuesday. Take the day off. And I said, yeah, it's cool. I had to chat to the coach, and he's like, yeah, it's fine. We'll do it on Wednesday instead. And pushed it back a day. And everyone in the group was like, guys, cool, take the day off. We'll do it on Wednesday night. Here's the session. Come and roll in between these hours, and I'll have it up for you guys. I wrote back, and then he wrote back to me and goes, oh, I meant the day off of work, but okay, cool. Fair enough. So you got to work within that. So for me, most important is the sleep and hydration post. Nutrition, most of them are pretty good on both teams, girls and boys. I do see some things, but in order to play at that level, if your nutrition isn't on point, it's going to show. And so those ones get weeded out pretty quickly, you know. And so that's what we go with. And like I said, I like the water immersion. I like that because for me, it's not just about the actual physiological adaptation. It's also about the mentality that are actually doing something for recovery. Recovery matters. Invest in this. You know, here's something new. Everyone go down. 25 girls down on the beach. We're in. You know, roll through as you need to, rolling times, whatever. But it's an active approach to it, rather than like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna massage or chill, whatever, or roll. No, I'm just gonna like self roll, whatever. I don't know what the fuck you're doing, you know. So it's that kind of thing. And those that don't make it, we have a thing where they have to, for the girls thing, they have to put it in the group. You know, so I want to see you in an ice bath. I want to see you doing your conditioning, whatever that may be, before, after, you know, the next session, whatever it may be. So for me, recovery has been an interesting one this year, where I've got more control over that, more say with what we're doing. Teams previously either haven't had a budget for it, haven't invested in it, want to just start get the training right first, which is a big thing, especially with women's sport. I'm finding is that, you know, I've had people talk to me about there's a whole range of things in women's sport, and slowly trying to implement them in. But the biggest thing is getting buy-in to the program itself, getting in the gym, getting understanding of what strength is going to do for you, what power is going to do for you, how it's going to matter, and how.
So you found women harder to get buy-in?
No. Not hard to get buy-in. Right? Men harder to get buy-in. No. But it's like as a consensus, as a whole, women haven't been pushed to be in the gym through their junior ranks and through their training. There's no that. Oh, cool. Guys would, hey, we'll go to the gym, man. I'm like, year 6, yeah, cool, whatever. We'll go to the gym. You know, we'll do whatever it's going to be. Whereas women haven't had that. And so there's not this big push for this understanding, and not just understanding but investment, you know. And so cool, I can do all these different things with the girls, all right. But in order for them to invest in this stuff, they need to be doing it to start with. Let's get in the gym. Let's get you on a proper program. Let's get you understanding why you're doing this program. Let's get you doing some hip thrusting or some hamstring work or whatever the fuck it may be. Let's get you doing that first. Then we can start to specialize once we've got that buy-in. You know, so it's buying into a program, it's understanding what the program is, because unfortunately a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing that I'm getting fed through is that the programs that they've been on, there's some really exceptional people that have worked with girls teams before and like the women's teams before, but a lot of the stuff has just been basic crap, like basic and crap. You know, you might be like, we had an assistant coach who just look some stuff up online, man, do some shit. There's no understanding for it. It's just because it's what's been done.
Yeah.
Or, what's the fucking one I heard? Push-ups, sit-ups, and squats. Like circuits and that. I'm like, cool, that's why. Like this basic crap. And then what happens, you get flogged, and then you get injured, and then you don't get why you're training. And so it's a matter of like, okay, well, here's a proper program. Here's something that's going to give you some adaptation, give you some positive benefit, reduce your risk of injury, and provide you performance. Let's invest in that first. Then we go to this. And that's why then, like for me, it's like, let's invest in that, and then recovery.
So
And then,
essentially what you're saying is invest in women, right?
bro, what's up?
Is that right?
No, pretty much. Not necessarily investing in women. It's like yes, 100%, 100%. But it's also getting women to invest in themselves and understanding.
That could be a new top. Invest in yourself, women.
I'm not going to fucking run a top like that.
Woman.
Why would I run a top like that? I get jumped in the street, people kill me for that. Without context. There's no context.
True.
Fuck no. Absolutely not.
Need a bigger t-shirt with context first.
Context, a bit of paragraph, a bit of link to the show notes, whatever. But yeah, so basically like the investment is coming. There are people coming through now with positive intentions. When I first started, and as things have gone on, it was never there. It was no positive. It was like, I'll just train a woman, give them some shit, and then I want to focus on getting to the men's stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas now we start
But
bringing
this is a long time ago.
Long time. This was 6 years ago, 7 years ago. No, but now there are people coming in who are investing in their women's programs, and what's happening is that we are now seeing elite teams, like elite teams, able to then go, well, we've got solid foundation. Now we can look at the other stuff on the outside, and now we can look at the next echelon up of okay, well, what's happening with menstrual cycles, what's happening with emotions and hormones and all this kind of stuff. We've got that coming through now.
Yeah.
In Australia, we won't hit it for another 5 years. I guarantee it, unless someone brings it in. Hence my plan, right? It's my plan. But that's the crux.
Yep.
So if you're on a good program, you can see the benefit, and this has been years of rolling, and I haven't done as much recently with promoting what I've been doing. I've just been doing it. But there's a lot of, okay, cool, people understand now, well, training is necessary. Proper training is necessary. It has performance outcomes. It has risk reduction outcomes. Cool, let's do that, and then let's move forward from that, rather than just being like flipping with your programming understanding.
Which is pretty common. Like still, unfortunately,
it's
still
very, very common.
As much as S&C is becoming big, it's still
and there's a lot of people with like less than positive intention.
Well, as you said, they want to get to the big leagues. They're using stepping stones.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, normally women's teams are stepping stones, or semi-professional teams are stepping stones to get to the big guys, girls, big guys. Normally, everyone's trying to get to the men's teams. That's where the money is. But yeah, I think the biggest risk in doing that is if you do a shit job, you're known as a shit person. Yeah,
but the thing is though, you can always like fluff around with, oh, we all know I'm training with women, there's a high risk of injury anyway, so you know what I mean? You can always like massage your data.
I guess it's unless you know you don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So we can see and go, nah, you fucked up, you did a bad job.
Exactly.
Whereas everyone else is like, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Years of experience, I had this team, I work with this team or whatever, on a resume it looks okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but then you actually get into the crux of what we're actually doing and what are you investing in, what time and processes and understanding do you have of that?
Because women don't naturally get injuries.
No.
They're not just walking around, oh, there's my ACL again.
Nope.
There's a reason behind it.
Whoops, slipped and fell, broke my leg. Doesn't happen.
There's a reason behind it. There's a physiological thing going on where they haven't done something. Now, of course, even the best in the world, their teams are going to have injuries.
Of course.
It's sport.
Of course.
You can't help it.
And there is a higher risk just from being a female in sport.
Yeah, but you can't
But it's not as high
it.
as it is now. It's the actual number for what it should be in regards to risk of injury compared to male sports. For me, it's like 2 to 3.
Yeah.
Right? Rather than fucking 9 to 11.
Yeah.
So
you can't say, I just had more injuries because they're women.
No. You can't say that.
It's because you did a bad training job.
You're fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And again, the other things, like you just have a really bad season. Some things you can't help. Sport, you just can't help sometimes. External forces, you can't help sometimes. But I think it's just too much. It's just because they're women. but it's not the case. You adapt your training. You adapt your training because they're women, because you got to train them differently, but they don't get injuries because they're women.
What's the biggest thing in your mind? What's the biggest thing that I have to change or adapt in my training when I'm training women versus when I'm training men?
The biggest thing.
Test. Are you going to pass? That I have to change.
Oh, you personally?
Could be anyone. Okay. I only know how I change.
You're making a lot of emphasis on the I bit.
Yeah, well, I did, but I might be trying to throw you off the,
okay.
the center things.
The biggest one.
Biggest adaptation I make to my training programs, whatever, from women to men.
Oh, see, I'm torn between two. So I'm going to give you two.
Give me two.
I'm going to say menstrual cycle and Q angles of hips.
No.
No to both?
No.
Give me one.
Communication.
Oh, okay, you got me.
It's the biggest thing. The biggest, without a doubt.
You got me. Yeah, okay.
I was going to get you.
Can I get one of the top three then? Are they in the top three?
No.
Still not.
I'd say top three. So the biggest one is communication and how I train and what I do and why.
Because Yep.
The second one is physiology, but it's not heaps. It's not a massive change that I do. Women to men, it's like, you've still got bodies.
Yeah.
And we just work with your bodies.
Yeah.
Even within those populations, women, men, whatever, there are extremely variable differences in how those, the Q angles and how your fucking ankle sits and how your knee sits and your body shape, whatever. The anthropology is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
So I will adapt that to the person or the small group that I have sitting in that rather than being like...
You can tell who works with females more out of the two of us.
That's a thing that I've learned over time. And I must say, when I first started, I never trained like girls to guys because you communicate differently to people anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but putting an understanding around it and putting an idea around it, putting a system around it, and a structure around it helps a lot.
So you've got a structure on how to talk to
Absolutely. Not just women, not just for women, but like women and men and teams and whoever I'm dealing with. And
Is that right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
You have to have it.
We should talk about that.
That
could be a
discussed
new
it. You think I just roll in like, what's up? And I'm just great? No. It takes time to develop this.
Well, I know from a personal point of view that you do know what you're talking about with this because I haven't trained many female teams. I've trained three. All basketball, but three. And you've only seen me train one.
Yes.
North Adelaide women's team. You picked me up after the first session. So this is the shitting the floor. What was the term we used? Shitting yourself on the gym floor. That's what we used.
Yeah.
This is that. So I'm training a female team in front of someone who trains female teams. The whole time I can feel eyes hitting the back of my head.
They weren't judgmental. They were just
a little bit. In a good way, they're a little bit. So this is I was shitting myself on the gym floor with someone like Josh watching me train a women's female team. And after the very first session, he's like, Murph, come over here.
Chat.
And it was a feedback sandwich, just what you gave me.
It was.
You brought it back to a feedback sandwich. It was you did a really good job. The exercises were really good. The structure was really good. Well done, good job. But you got to learn how to talk to women better. Yeah, shit, that's pretty much been my advice my whole life. That's why bringing up being sent to a boys' school has fucked me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to name the boys' school. But you need to learn how to talk to women's teams better. You talk to them like a men's team.
Keep going.
And you can elaborate more on what you were saying, but I knew what you were saying.
I want to know what you picked up from that. From what I said in that conversation, what you understood I was saying.
What I understood.
I said, yeah, you got to communicate better. But I gave you specifics.
I don't know if I remember the specifics, but I know I changed it and it worked.
You're welcome.
Because I remember I remember walking away from that session thinking, okay, I mean, I knew what I was doing was good in the way of the training. I didn't have an issue with that. I didn't doubt myself on that. But I thought, okay, I think I know what he's talking about. And I went back the next week, and I got a much better response from the person,
Mm-hmm.
the people I was training, not so much the team, but
Yeah.
the people I was training.
Mm.
Where all of a sudden the girls were having a bit of a joke, they were laughing, they were getting into the training, they were
Mm-hmm.
approaching me to ask me things. I think I was telling them what to do too much. I was
Correct.
the dictator coach. I wasn't like being one of them sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that could be what you're about to say, I don't know. But I was more of a dictator, which is how I would have gone with the boys.
Yeah.
Okay, go to this, do it this way, I want it done this way, do it in this format, follow these rules, get it done, come on, stop fucking around, let's go get it done. You do that with the girls and they're going to be, they feel more. I mean, that's...
And you're a big dude. Like, you're intimidating as well.
I remember you saying that. So don't stand over the girl, watching down her, telling her what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you can do that with the guy, they're like, hey,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Mm.
Get down on their level, get onto one knee, talk to them about it, be hands-on in an appropriate way.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Do all those things that they feel a connection.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's those two words.
Mm-hmm.
They feel the connection.
Yeah.
Whereas men, you don't need to put your hands on them so much when you're talking to them. Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest things I pulled out of that.
Yeah. So before I train teams, I send out surveys, right? Men, women, doesn't matter. And in the surveys this year I sent out, there's a whole bunch of things, training history, they go to individual players, not just like team group, individual players. And then I collate all data at the end of it, and that determines my coaching style for that team for that year in that first period. Right? And then once I get connection, I understand that, we go from that, right? But overwhelmingly, the women's teams, when I say, I give them, you mentioned dictators, I give them a question in the survey that says, how do you like to be trained? Right? Remember, individual. And it has dictator, do this, here's what I'm saying, just do it, shut up and do it. One is here's what we're doing and why we're doing it, and explanatory. And more, the last one is like, I'll give you a skeleton, you just go and do it. You know what I mean? Like, here's what we're doing, go do that. Or here's what we're doing, here's why we're doing it, here's what you get from it, and the other one's like, just do this.
Yeah.
Right? So 3 different sort of levels. Overwhelmingly, the women, 85%, here's what we're doing, why we're doing it, explain it to me. Right? Men, 65%. That way. The other ones are dictators. 35% dictators, or 31%, whatever it was, dictators. So not a huge difference, but enough to know that, okay, in that group setting, I'm going to change my entire style. I don't mind 15% of women being like, or 15% of players in that team being like, well, he's explaining stuff, doing it, I'll prefer a dictator. Well, you're still going to do it.
Yeah.
Whereas in a boys team, I'm going to go a little bit more that way.
Yeah.
So in a boys team, you'll see me go more like, just do this, shut up, blah, 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 whatever it is. Don't hear crap, just do it.
Yeah.
Whereas with the women, what I was saying in that session is that the getting on the level and connecting more, women value that connection. And so in that session in particular, I said to you, you were like the eye of the hurricane. You were standing in the middle and everyone's doing their stuff and you're like dictating, right? Whereas what I found works best, especially with my personality as well, is like, I'll go up to someone and I'll talk to individuals and be like, hey, cool, this, and this, right? You understand what you're doing? Yeah, cool, no worries. Then I'll go to a small group. So it might be the 3 girls or 4 girls in a group, and then I'll go to a team.
Yeah.
So you're still getting that individual coaching, right? And you're still getting the same results. But the thing is, what happens is you create the connection. They feel more connected to you as someone who actually cares what they're doing, and then they'll go and do more, and you get that investment. And that's something you change like that. That's what you said. You did it the week after, and I was like, sick. Because it's just a small change.
Yeah.
5 meters extra, and you get this complete change in dynamics. You get a complete change in buying, a complete change in how the outcomes are then driven. And I think it was super fantastic to see. You know what I mean? Like you did that, and I was just like, that's awesome. But in regards to how you train them, very different.
Yeah.
And I find that a lot of coaches in particular don't understand that side of things. You can give a basic plan to a women's team and a men's team, but if you don't adapt how you change that and how you communicate that, you get completely different outcomes.
Yeah, good call. So that was some valuable advice.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. I think it's been about 45 minutes.
I think it's been, solid.
Good 20 minutes to sit on the ground. I think we'll call that one for now. Maybe we'll do another one, maybe we won't. We'll see what happens, have a coffee or whatever. But thanks for tuning in. Hopefully anyone watching that, you got some stuff out of that. This will be put up as soon as we can. As soon as we can. Hopefully this week sometime. But yeah, hopefully you guys got some stuff from that, and we'll keep vibing. We're good.
We're good. We've got a bit more time at the moment. So
Oh my god, let's do it. Let's do it. See you soon. Thank you.
I've got a big fat drum. I've got a big fat drum. Pounding so bad, I've got a big fat drum. Big fat drum. I've got a big fat, big